Hey there, welcome back to this module. In this video, you will learn the techniques of CV writing. So, how do we go about it? All the theories we've been learning right from the start, this is where we put everything into practice. Then, let's get to work. Let's recall a unique CV must have a specific outline, as discussed over in our previous lessons. So, the very first thing that must feature on the CV is the contact address. You remember? Contact address, which entails your name, address, your email, your phone number, your portfolio, and the likes. After this, we have chronology. As a good CV content writer, you must bear in mind the fact about timeline. This is a red flag that must never be crossed. You must always think about it. The trajectory of work experience and education, followed by your education. The education timeline is contingent on the chronology, then followed by your work experience. It's something you must always bear in mind. When talking about your work experience, recall significant things to discuss in the process are the achievements you made over time. Nobody is actually interested in your roles or duties that you performed in there. So you want to talk about your specific achievement in the course of your roles in a company. Talking about the skills, some specific things are actually mentioned. Why the soft skills are meant to add to your personality and characters, the hard skills are the main consideration for jobs. We talked about the layout and format. Regarding the layout and format, recall we have just three layouts for CV writing. One, we have the reverse chronological format. Two, we have the skill-based format. Lastly, the combination format. Then after this, we talk about awards and certification. So this marks the end of everything. It is time for us to consider the technicalities of writing a CV. The first thing to do is that I've got to show us these two samples. This and this. You might want to ask, what are the usefulness of the colors? Of course, you don't have anything to do with it. The colors are not relevant in your CV. But these people have tried so much to break down the content of the CV by demarcating each class of words, where verbs are supposed to be, what are the metrics, what are the values that you've created, and the results in the long time using a specific style. So these styles are what we are going to be paying attention to as we move on. Can we begin? Now let's begin. Analytics and technicality in CV writing. We have the outline. The first thing we have to consider is the word choice, followed by the verb form used, then followed by the writing hearts of ABC and XYZ. The first thing on the list is the word choice, and the essence is to give you the tips on bulleting your achievements. First, you need to be specific. Action words are required, focus, and use data and statistics. And the last point on the list is initial words. One thing you really want to do when writing this portion of your CV is the fact that you want to show the synergy between your skills and your work experience. So that is why you need to be conscious, to be watchful of your word choice. For clarity, showing the relationship between the verb and the object is one of the important things you need to take good note of. For instance, if you have a teamwork skills, then you want to use words like lead, collaborate. If you have a creative skills, then you want to use words like design, create. If you want to talk about your technical skill, then you want to talk about automate and use some other words that are so related to that. Optimize and some other words. If you want to talk about your report summary skills, then you want to use words like analyze, create, evaluate, review, and some other words that are so relevant to these skills. You need to employ high impact verbs for you to show your capacity and values to your reviewer. Either you are writing for academic purpose or for jobs. Words like achieve, earn, decrease, increase, modernize, resolve, launch, build, In other words, will definitely make you stand out from the crowd. Put a check on the tense of the verb to be used. If it is a past experience, then it has to be in the past form. If it is present, then it has to be present, simple present tense, not continuous. We are on the final segment of this video, where we look at the writing art of ABC and XYZ. These are the two approaches for structuring the content of your work experience, your activities, your commitments, your achievement over time. So the A stands for activity, which means what have you done? This should be explained using the action words as explained previously. The B for benefit, what specific influence did you make? What functions did you perform in essence? The C for curse, what outcomes, result did you get? What specific result? So the formula is this: action plus noun from data in order, which led to for plus verb plus result. Now let's be practical. In case you have your CV reading something like this, develop the user interface for meetings software. It's good, but make it better. Update the legacy code base from Dojo to React in order to deliver factors more quickly. Best. I trained. It's one of the mistakes, one of the errors you must never make. Don't ever add the pronoun yourself into it. I train new students how to handle data analysis. Wrong. But it's better to say train new students, depending on the situation. But it is better to say quickly align new intakes and mentor them to analyze data to boost company's delivery. Best. And the last but not the least, take charge of sales record. It's okay according to Google, but it is best to put it this way: recorded all monthly revenues on new company's cloud for data safety. This is the end of ABC style. Now, let's move to the next one. The XYZ approach is actually unique for Google recruiters. As I say, X is for accomplishments, Y is for metrics, Z is for results. Save the daylight. Now, turn this member of Leadership for Tomorrow Society into selected as one of 200 candidates for a 12-month professional program for high achieving diverse talents based on leadership and academic success. Does that make sense? Let's try the next one. Grew revenue from small and medium business clients. It's okay, but not detailed enough. Now let's change it into grew revenue for 15 small and medium business clients by 10% within 4 months by mapping new software features as solution to their business goals. Better and best. At this point, I want to believe that you've been able to master the technicalities that define a good CV writer. So if that is the case, the next video, we want to try designing a resume and a CV using a PC and a mobile. Hey guys, you're welcome to this video. This will be the continuation of the techniques of CV and resume that we discussed in the previous lessons. So in that wise, we'll be looking at how we can use the ChatGPT to gain insight on how to come up with the content of a CV or resume depending on what you're writing. So in that wise, this video will give us a guide on how we can actually do this successfully. Now, let's try a resume for a teacher with a certain years of teaching experience. Now, let's see what ChatGPT has got for us. So the first thing to feature on the CV content is the name, as described in our previous lesson. We are followed by the address and some other things that we actually mentioned. Then we have the objective, the education, the professional experience. And under the professional experience, this is where the information about the teaching experience of the teacher will be featuring. One thing you don't want to miss out on is the work experience. The number of bulletin that you're supposed to have under it. Ensure you don't exceed the maximum, which is 3. Of course, there are situations that call for more, but on the standard, you don't exceed 3. Just to keep your resume simple. So the moment you do that, you move to the next one, which is skills. Then you move to certification and some other things that are relevant, as discussed in the previous video. So the moment you have this, then in case you're just getting a contract from someone to write a CV All you have to do is to ensure that the experience of that person really aligns with what you have here. You meant to get the brief from your client. Try to see where the prompt from the ChatGPT can actually help the situation. Even in the worst case scenario where the prompt does not go in line with the experience of your client, all you have to do is to sit down and do the breakdown just as you can see as done by ChatGPT. Then you copy and paste. Then you begin to work on each and every one of them, following the using either the ABC format or the XYZ as provided by Google. Hello guys, you're welcome back. This is the practical on the class on civil writing. So let's choose a sample to work with. So from WhatsApp, we want to choose this document. If you look at the name of the document, it's actually in doc and with date. So that means it is only a read-only document. We can edit. We need to save the document for us to be able to work on it. So now let's save. Go to your device. Choose any folder that really appeals to you. Then you save. Now soap is ready. So change the view to see how it actually looks on paper. Now the next thing, you want to insert a blank page. So the way you actually learned it in the first video, then you copy and paste, and this is how you proceed with the content you're creating, and till you get to the last content. So now let's take it slow and steady. At this point, copy and paste the work experience and add it in the new section that you have above. So once you do this, then you will edit the content. Bear in mind, for CV standard, the maximum you're supposed to have is 3 bullets for each work experience. So let's insert and move on. We have to do a cross-check to be sure of the orderings of information on the CV. Therefore, the first thing we have is the place of work, the location, and the country. Right in front of it, we have the date, month, and year, and below it, we have your role. Hey guys, you're welcome back. In this video, we will learn how we can make use of our PC to design a CV or resume. The CV you are looking at on the screen is actually a job I got a few days to the beginning of the class, so I decided to record it so that we can make use of it as an example. Like I told you, there are days you want to make use of templates to make your delivery faster, and that is exactly what I did with this job. So I used my personal sample. I was just copying and pasting to make it faster, and that is how fast you can actually go at times, especially in a situation whereby you have multiple things on your table. So, can we begin? Really, I didn't do much on this resume because there is a template that I used. Like I told you, all you have to do is to copy and paste once you have a template already, which I will make available for you. So let's just quickly run to the end of it, and I show you what it looks like when I finish the job. Obviously, it's just the same thing, the same way we did it on the mobile. So the same way you'll be going on the PC, and having it on PC will just be somehow, easier because you have access to more things, unlike when you are using your mobile. So the mobile is much more recommended for those who don't have a PC. Then just to get started, and it's done. Just as we did on mobile, requesting for bullet points on the ChatGPT. So we are going to repeat the same thing on the PC, just to get insight on what the information of those things. There are situations whereby you ask for those things from your client. So if the client is able to supply the information, then you give them you feed them in the right position. But most often, I found that many of Nigerians who want to create CVs, they don't even understand the specific KPIs they're actually meant to fulfill on a monthly basis. And it's not actually their fault, but the fault of their employers who don't even know the specific things that their employees are meant to fulfill on dailies, weeklies, and monthlies, to measure their performance. So how would you even ask that kind of employee to come and tell you what the metrics of his position, of his roles are? What are the KPIs, the key performance indicators? What are they? So this is why using ChatGPT to get some of these content will be useful. Then in a nutshell, this will bring us to the end of this CV design, and just for you to see what it looks like eventually when I sent it to the client. So this is the layout after we finished it. So just look at it. And for the second one, which is actually for an academic CV, so this is what this one looks like too. So it's just a matter of adapting to a specific style if you really want to get it right. Nothing is complicated about it. Know what the structure, the contents, and the layouts should look like. And that's it. Thank you for watching.